Man of Medan is out right now, and 4 of us in this room have finished it. So if you've also finished it, you can continue listening to this. But if you haven't, then spoiler warning, we're about to spoil the entire game and everything that happens in it.
You have been warned.
So go away, play the game, and then come back. Or if you're not going to play the game, you're quite welcome to just watch and listen to this and have the game spoiled for you. But that's what's about to happen. I'm James, and I played the game fully through as a single player experience, and everyone else will tell you what they did.
This is going to sound like a weird AA meeting.
I'm Ellen, and I played the movie night mode. Is that how they refer to it?
Pass the pad co-op.
Yeah, so it was me and my boyfriend. We're both in the same room, and you allocate characters, and then you take it in turns. So I only played 3 out of the 5 characters, and he played 2 of them.
I'm Leon.
And I'm Sam.
And we played the online co-op mode where 2 people kind of play the single-player story kind of separately and together. It's sort of meant to be like the main mode, really, because it's
kind of a mix of the pass the pad and the single player, in that you get characters each, but they switch.
So what we're going to do now is go through the key parts of the game chronologically and let you know the different experiences that we had while doing it. It deviates quite wildly from pretty much the beginning, so you'll be able to see all of the different ways that the game can be played. It starts off
on a boat,
but on a big boat on the Man of Medan, which is fairly straightforward for everyone playing it, except Sam and Leon. You would have got control of both of the soldiers rather than I just got control of one of them.
Yes,
I just got control of one as well, which was a bit of a downside because that meant only one of us got the tutorial of the game.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Even though there's 2 characters, which is quite weird.
Yeah,
that is very odd.
Weird.
Yeah, because even playing in 2-player mode, it goes like, who do you want to be? And you're like, I don't know. It's just this just says Joe and Charlie, and you're like, I don't know who these people are when you play it the first time. But yeah.
I mean, it turns out neither of them matter anyway because they both die within the first half an hour.
5 minutes.
You find
and
both. You find
really
both
annoying.
later on, don't you? But this is where like one of the big sort of changes kind of happens, because obviously they for various reasons they end up locked in the brig and in the medical thing, and then they wake up and the ship's gone mad, and you basically play through to the end until they die. But we all had different versions of how that eventually sort of unfolded.
Yeah, I got one of them shot because he was hiding in a locker, and I shot him with a machine gun, not knowing it was him. I thought it was a mutant sort of
tiny,
zombie,
like a little zombie child thing.
Yeah. So he just got shot.
How did you do it?
So I can't tell if the only reason mine was different is because of the way I played it, because there's no pivotal decisions in this point, and there's not really any quick times you can miss.
Well, there are the traits, aren't there? Traits and relationships. I'm wondering if something you did in terms of the traits made him so he died of fright, didn't he? Essentially.
Yeah. So I played as, I think, Joe, the one with the sun, and yeah, I feel like I just had a fairly linear experience, and then at the end, you see that your friend is already dead, looking like he's died of shock, and then the small zombie boy comes out. You do a quick time, which I think shoots bullets straight through him, nothing happens, and then you have what looks like a heart attack, and you're dead.
That's fairly bland.
Yeah, it was, because I already knew how it could go if you play the 2-player online, because you two, Leon and JJ, went and played it earlier, and yes, I was a bit disappointed by my one. I was like, oh, dead, that's the end of that.
It's weird as well, because we did the version where I already kind of knew how it played out, so I was like, I'm not going to shoot the locker with the ghost boy in, because I know that's actually going to be Sam hiding. So I chose not to, and then Ghost Boy comes out and Sam.
Me, I stabbed
Sam
you.
the ghost boy.
Well, actually, no. Did I? Yeah, I stabbed you.
Well,
it was like a weird version of the fortune teller from the beginning tutorial. So I was just like, it can't be Leon. That's crazy. And I was like, oh no, he died.
So already in the first 15 minutes, there's 3 different ways of ending that sort of chapter. And
I don't know what happened to me though. I must have just died in the locker. It didn't really show anything. It just kind of went black, and then I was like, oh, okay,
Maybe
bye.
it didn't prepare for you to not shoot the locker. It was like, oh, we didn't write that one. But, you're dead. You just are.
I mean,
it's a shame they didn't come back right at the end of the main storyline, and then he's like,
you can find the body.
Yeah, you can find them both.
So he does just die then.
Yeah, they're just dead.
With Until Dawn,
very clunky.
With the whole keep still was my downfall. I'm fine with QuickTime just press square, press X.
I couldn't do the heartbeat thing. I kept getting panicky and
I
then
could
pressing
do
it
that,
too soon.
and I couldn't do the other one. So that, and weirdly,
Had
in this
some
game more than Until Dawn, that can really ruin.
I felt it was a bit mean with some of the QuickTime events as well, because like I think Until Dawn was better at kind of going, you can watch this bit, no, you need to pick up the pad, you can watch this bit, whereas this one was just, buttons would just pop up in the middle of conversations and things would happen.
I was listening!
Yeah. It felt like there was more of a tonal shift in Until Dawn, so even if it didn't say, be ready, you're going to press square in a second, it was, you kind of just felt the music maybe change or the atmosphere change, whereas this one it really was just, I was watching her walk up the stairs and now I have to be her walking up the stairs, otherwise she's going to trip and fall.
But there's definitely some times where the game would also lag.
Yeah.
And it would give you a QuickTime event, and then it would just be finished before you see what's happened. And it's like, oh, I'm just going to press oh no, I can't press triangle, it's gone.
Yeah. We were playing in the co-op mode, like we were playing in the same house on the same Wi-Fi, and it kept saying like our connection to each other was weak, which meant that
that's
like
harsh.
Just a personal
there's no
attack.
comment on our relationship or anything, but yeah, it was really frustrating because then it's like it was extra lag on top of like the lag the game had. So like I think at least one of the heartbeat times where I couldn't do it was because the game was just like, nope, I'm not working anymore now. It's just like, okay, I'm not being an idiot. There's like some definite syncing issues here.
Yeah.
Well, let's move away from that's just the tutorial. And so let's
There's
go
going
on.
to have to be parts, isn't it? That was part one.
I think you could skip all of the small boat part because I thought it was really friggin' annoying.
Well, I think we mostly did the same things, right? So after big boat, you're on little boat, and then you introduce the 5 main characters.
So the smaller boat, there's not a lot of decisions. I mean, you can choose to get married. Spoilers. Oh, not married.
No,
engaged.
you don't need to say spoilers at this point.
No, we haven't got to any deaths yet. You can choose to be engaged. I think that's probably the key moment on the smaller boat while you're diving that alters stuff. In the following cutscenes when they're doing the lame ghost story, which by the way is lame. Like, I mean, I've heard
Which
it like
ghost story
the
bit?
one when he's like
One that
holding the
Brad tells.
torch up. And it's the guy in the lighthouse, and then it's like the first jump scare of the game, apart from the eel in the diving bit, is like him holding a torch up, and then lightning strikes as soon as he
It
goes
did
like.
make me
"Wah!"
He does
to be
give
fair.
different reasons where he heard it though, because that's just after that is where our game crashed. So we played it through twice, and when Julia, you can either be nice or you can be really dismissive of his lame spooky story, and he in one of mine he said that he read it on an in-flight magazine, and then in a different one he said he heard it from some old man that he met somewhere in some more elaborate lie. And it's weird because throughout our entire game we tried to play most of them quite nice, but one of his defining traits was like deceptive or something, and he was the least deceptive character that I
this is the thing at the end, isn't it?
just the little, the words when you go on them, they have these words that get bigger and smaller. I'm assuming that
on
was
what
them
you
saying,
picked,
I didn't feel like they ever lined up. We played Fliss so nice, and she never was nice when she was out of our control.
Because the whole thing is that trait things. You're supposed to, by making decisions, change the traits. But I don't think we ever saw never saw anything that changed anything that much. Because you were playing to get them killed, weren't you? Pretty
No,
much?
I was just
No,
playing
he
it.
wasn't.
Oh, okay.
They just
happened
died.
to die.
Okay. I thought that
Did
was your
anyone
goal.
die on the small boat?
Yeah,
Who?
Conrad.
On an even
Oh,
smaller
well,
boat.
he is quite annoying.
I mean,
so.
that's your first major decision. Is Conrad going to try and like rescue the group and be the hero and go onto the speedboat as he gets out the window, or are you going to like stay with them and get the knife? I chose for him to because we had a premonition of him escaping, to escape. He escaped. He got on the boat. There's like a really fast QuickTime event where you have to stop him from stumbling into the boat. And
There's a lot of stumbling in this game. A lot of stumbling.
And then he escaped. But then there's one final mystery button prompt that comes up when you think you've done it. He's driving away, and you're like, "Cool, he's away." And then suddenly a triangle appears, which I missed, and then he gets shot in the head.
Which is a premonition that you can find earlier on. There's, the guy with is it a glass eye?
Oh, yeah.
There's a premonition that you can find below deck, and it's him holding a gun up. And so we didn't make Conrad go for the other boat because I had a feeling that maybe that was what the premonition was.
The premonitions are quite odd because sometimes they don't mean anything until almost after the events happened.
Yeah, because later on when you have to try and get the bit of the engine back, I had a premonition that it got squished by a lift thing. But
Yes, the
it was
distributor.
totally out of my control. It was when you were playing, so I was just like, how am I meant to affect the change for the premonition if I'm not in control of the character when it happens?
So when you're on the Medan and you have to get the distributor cap back for the boat so you can escape, the premonition is you see it falling in a lift and being you just see it being
fall down a hatch
smashed
or
by
something,
something.
yeah.
You just see it being smashed and okay, fine. That happened to me when you eventually find Glass Eye Man dead, covered in rats, and you try and get the distributor cap off.
Good.
And then all the rats start jumping on you, and there's like just loads of button prompts to bat the rat away. And then if you miss one, he drops the distributor cap, and then it falls down the lift and gets smashed. But there's no way the premonition tells you anything about how that works, because you see the distributor cap 2 or 3 times during the game, and you don't know at what point the premonition
comes like way before that as well.
Yeah.
So you're like, it could happen at any point.
But everything that happens in it has no relation to anything you're doing at any point in the game.
It's like, how do you know that there's like some sort of thing it can fall down when you're batting the rats off? If it was like a rat in the premonition, you might be like, ooh.
Getting ahead of ourselves here.
Yeah, slightly ahead of ourselves.
Oh, I forgot.
Back to the small boat.
Yeah, so small boat
Gets attacked by pirates.
attacked by pirates. You get to choose if Conrad goes for the boat or not. I chose for going to the boat, got him killed. But you all kept them all on the boat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did get Julia minorly shot.
Oh.
A graze.
Yeah.
It's a graze. 'Cause
Mildly shot.
yeah, we
Just a
kept
light
Conrad
shooting.
on the main boat, and then he has a guy and he's threatening to
Cut his throat.
yeah, and he asks for the gun. I wasn't playing as Conrad, and the glass eye guy drops the gun, and that's a trick to get you to go for it, and then he kicks you, whatever, and then all hell breaks loose. So yeah, I didn't choose this, but we went for the gun, and then I think in some sort of mess, someone shoots at Julia, which then gets her, which then massively affects her relationship with Alex, because she, when she's then below deck, blames Alex for not coming to her rescue in some way.
What was he supposed to do? Jump in front of the gun?
I don't know. I think maybe it was a choice, something Alex said that led to that anyway.
Yeah, because I protected her when we were below deck, and you had to like get them out when the water was coming in, and you could either run or save her, and then
as
she didn't,
Fliss.
and then she didn't get as Alex,
I did it as Fliss.
and she didn't get shot though.
Yeah.
Then I think there's a point where you can kill Julia as well, right?
Yeah.
If you go
On the
up
boat?
on the but if you go
Well,
up
you-
too fast and don't decompress
Oh,
properly.
that. Yeah.
And then have a drink of a beer, because you will let him get the bends, because you see the premonition, but the premonition is on.
Is
the
that her
Medan?
holding her
Yeah.
heart? She looks
Yeah.
like she's having some
out of
kind
breath or something. Yeah.
But yeah, I think she will just die when you get on the Medan at some point.
Yeah.
And you just be like, what? And it's like, oh. And then I guess Brad or someone, because he's the intelligent one, goes, oh,
She's got
it's
the bends.
Oh no, she's dead.
But you can potentially kill 2 people pretty much in the first hour.
You can start the process of killing the 2
Yeah.
people.
You can start the Man of Medan, the ship proper, 2 people down.
Yeah, effectively.
We missed an important decision, which was whether we make Fliss flirt with Conrad on the little boat, which then leads to the 2 of them making out below deck.
Oh.
Which I would,
Yeah.
I would say is a pretty big.
See, I
Event.
don't,
Pretty big event.
I don't think I even got the option to like flirt. She could basically be kind of mean or
Less
dismissive.
mean.
her
Yeah, that's
until-
it. Just be less
Right.
mean. There's like the mean option, and then there was the slightly less mean, which
Sassy.
clearly is enough for Conrad.
Yeah.
I mean, he was after her, to be
Oh, yeah.
fair.
Yeah, and then Julia came down below deck and saw the 2 of them kissing, and then if she makes a sarky comment, then Fliss doesn't like her very much, which is what I did.
They didn't do that in ours.
No, I didn't get that
kissings.
either.
Kissing's later.
Yeah, kissing's later.
but
No
Not,
kissing
not
first.
I
then.
never got any kissing. I mean, they're much.
You probably
Yeah.
killed them all by then.
Yeah.
Can't kiss when you're
Kissing
dead.
a corpse. I mean, you
Ooh,
can, but it's
that probably
like jail
happens.
time.
Yeah.
I mean, there's pretty much the big boat is when it all starts using lots of its cool techniques with like, which really only come into effect if you're playing it in the 2-player mode, I imagine, because a single player, you can probably get the sense that this might be the time when someone else would be playing that character, but you never really know.
Well, because I think in both your games, when you're escaping from the pirates through the air vent, I think I fluffed one of the button prompts and they yank Fliss out.
Well, I
And then-
chose a different, because you can either distract them,
or
you
push the
can push the
table.
table in
Yeah.
front. So I went with distract because I thought maybe the table thing would draw their attention, and there were no button prompts. Conrad was yelling inflammatory things at them, and then you all escape nice and neatly through the air vent.
It's an interesting sort of branching point, though, because it means Fliss gets a whole like section of her own sort of gameplay. Do you still, if if she doesn't get split up, do you still have the sort of the showdown in the ballroom?
Yeah, it's...
So how does she get back there?
If she gets... If we all go through the vent ourselves, I can't remember exactly what happens to split people off, but it's Brad, Fliss, and the Asian guy together, and then everyone else
See,
together.
this is totally different to what we had, because one of the pirates.
One of the pirates.
Oh.
See,
Not a character.
we didn't.
Worth clarifying.
No.
That's not just his
We
name.
didn't have anything to do with him at all. Like, pretty much the only time we saw him was once during a scene. There's a scene where you see a distributor cap on a barrel, and
Yeah.
he's like, "Oh, should we try and get it?" And I had the premonition where you see the guard, one of the Asian guard, I think, like beating his head against the floor, and I was like, maybe let's not get it. And as soon as you say that, the guy comes around the corner. But we never had anything to do with him until the glass-eyed man was like had killed him and was shouting at him, already dead.
Oh, well, no, we chose to jump down to try and get the distributor cap, and I think missed a button prompt, which meant he finds Fliss, that's inevitable, you can't stop that happening, but he finds Brad as well, and then the three of those two go off on their own adventure, and then Julia and Alex are together, and then
Wait,
you
so Brad,
inevitably lose
hang on,
Conrad.
Brad came off the boat with you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
because you must have pulled him up from his hiding place, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we didn't. He stays on the boat for ages.
Oh.
He just turns up halfway through the game, like in the ballroom when he appears swinging a wrench.
That's the first time.
That's
I've
the
seen
first
him for,
time
like,
you see him.
hours.
Oh, so yeah, because there's this whole bit which I thought was really cool, which none of you... I don't know if I'm getting ahead of myself.
Probably not.
Don't think it
We're
happens
about
too
there.
long after. There's a bit where Fliss and Brad are walking around the Man of Medan, and they come across that area that you have your final moments in the prologue. Brad then goes through a door, turns around, Fliss is gone, so he starts walking around and weird things start happening, he sees things and everything. He walks through again, and Fliss is with him, but she's wearing a different coloured top, she's wearing purple instead of red. So we think, well, that's probably not her. So we then walk around again, goes through again, then he's only with the Asian man, then he walks through again, and there's a weird version of Alex who's missing part of his head, who you then have to fight off with button prompts, which
That's
then
weird.
leads us to the bit with Fliss, who's in the ballroom, but just before that she walks through a door, her leg gets caught by a something, which we then have to use a button prompt to get out of.
But the hands come out. There's like a
Yeah.
puddle of water, and her hands come
Yeah.
out, and then there's like somehow there's like a zombie like under the water trying to pull her in, even
Yeah.
though she's standing on the floor.
Yeah, and then we made the button prompt so she got out of that, but then she turns to see Brad. They've just grabbed him from every which way and they're pulling him out. But because we'd just experienced a run through where Fliss was there but wasn't there, I assume that was a ploy to get Fliss to go for him and die, so we left him, we shut the door on him. And
He
he
did.
comes
He
back.
died.
No, he comes back later anyway, which made I was worried the whole time because I thought he was wearing the same colour T-shirt. Maybe that's their way of saying, "Oh, this is a fake person," but no, I think they were trying to trick you there to make Fliss try and help him.
The interesting thing we need to sort of investigate is obviously, like, going full spoilers, of course, is nothing that happens is real. It's all the sort of the result of this sort of nerve gas that's leaking out of a ruptured box somewhere.
The Manchurian Gold,
The Manchurian
Yeah.
Gold, yeah, Manchurian Gold.
which that plot point, I mean, you could see that coming.
A mile off.
Also, once
But
that happens, it makes most of your decisions a lot easier.
yeah.
Well, women are less affected by it. You read one of the pamphlets.
Oh, I did
So
not.
it's
I
like-
just skipped through.
I
all of
didn't
them.
I didn't read them. I was just like collectible, like, because before they come to the big conclusion quite far in that they're clearly all being affected by this gas.
As soon as you
when
start
we-
seeing the gas, you're like, oh.
Yeah, when earlier on when we thought it's probably some sort of chemical leak, we then made all of our decisions based on that. So, like you were saying, at some point, if Conrad's still alive,
No, he's
sorry,
not.
JJ, he isn't. Then
gone.
he starts running from this weird zombie lady.
Oh, she's horrible.
Where you have to make button prompts to escape her. You then climb all the way to the top of some structure, and you can confront the monster or you can jump. And we, at this point, started to think maybe something's getting in their head. So it wasn't really a question. It was, well, we're gonna confront the thing, and as soon as you confront the thing, it's Fliss,
Yeah.
and she's
And
going.
then they
"Ooh."
kiss.
No, they didn't kiss on mine.
Oh, well,
And then they
for us.
kissed.
They already
Yeah.
had
It
the
made
smooching.
no sense.
The weird thing with that is obviously
because they
so
hadn't flirted at all
Yeah.
for the entire game. And they said, "Oh, we're just going to make out now." I'm like, "Oh, okay." I mean, fair enough. He almost jumped off the thing. You might be quite emotional and want a hug, maybe.
But it's interesting that when we did that, so I was playing as Fliss and you were playing as Conrad, and so you're obviously having to do button presses to escape the monster, jumping over things that could potentially kill you if you fall down them.
Bits of the ladder kept falling
because that's one of the
off.
ways you can die. I was chasing after you, and then when I got to the top, it felt like every time I said anything, you reacted badly. So I was like, I'm not going to say anything. Maybe not saying anything's going to keep him alive. And then it all comes down to you just going jump or not jump.
Yeah.
So my whole role in that was pointless to some extent.
I mean, you were a very convincing, creepy old lady, so well done.
For the audio listeners, Leon looks very proud of that.
Yeah, I didn't see any of that. The creepy lady.
So you didn't, no one climbs up a chimney and tries to jump off a plank?
No. None of that.
If you have like accidentally killed anyone, it severely shortens the game.
No, because there's a lot of bits where characters swap around, because the bit where you were Julia and I was Alex and I nearly stabbed myself because of the rat in my chest, you had Fliss, didn't you?
Yeah, I didn't have Julia. So, because this later on in the game, when you all reconvene, 2 of you need to go below deck, right?
Oh yeah, and you can
Yes.
pick. Yeah.
Yeah, so because I had Brad and the other player in this game had Alex, as Alex made the decision to send me because he thought, there's going to be loads of quick times, you can do it. So it was me as Brad and Julia, and then later on Alex jumps down, and then when there's a bit where he's seeing a rat crawl out of his chest, but there's also this weird 2-headed monster that's right in front of him, and you can stab the monster or you can stab the rat, and we chose to do neither, and then it just turns out it's Fliss, and again, which is weird because you didn't have that. I guess you weren't super suspicious that maybe Fliss was up to something, because every time it was a monster it turned out to be Fliss, so I thought, why is it her every time?
No, I had Brad, obviously it was Julia in that section, and Fliss was the one chasing Conrad, but yeah, it was almost everyone at one point was a monster.
No, mine was pretty much always Fliss.
Did everyone got Brad killed, didn't he? It feels like he's... You didn't?
I didn't get anyone killed.
Oh, what?
Brad is because when you get held up at gunpoint, the guy's going mad about the gas.
Oh, this is a big one.
Like it's like it feels like whatever you say, you get shot.
Yeah. So Brad and Julia are together, and well, I don't know. Did you have Brad and Julia?
No, it was Brad and Fliss.
Okay.
And I was Fliss, and you were
because of the way we
Brad.
split them up.
I can't remember that.
Yeah. So the Brad and someone go off together, and they see the guy with the glass eye getting angry at the Asian guy, saying, "You have my gold," or whatever it is, kills him. You are hiding from the guy with the glass eye, and you have to make the heartbeat
Which
thing,
I
right?
missed so many times.
And then after that, run through a door and run into the third guy who
Points a gun at you.
I did remember his name, but I've forgotten it. But he,
It's like Junior or something, isn't it?
it is, yeah. I remembered. And yeah, he starts to go crazy, and he thinks that the mist is inside him. Slightly
totally
before
is.
that, you can pick up a rebreather, which is the diving
Which doesn't-
gear.
yeah,
We had, but we didn't
Doesn't do
get to
anything.
use it.
So, well, in my dialogue options, it did.
As soon as he starts going like, if you breathe the gas, you're infected, and you're like, well, he's got a gun. I'm going to try and steer away from that. And if you keep saying like, we haven't,
I think
we're
if you
fine.
steer too hard, he gets suspicious.
Yeah, he goes like, no, it's you. So I guess I think he will probably shoot one of the two if you try and talk your way out of it. But if you follow your route,
Yeah,
he'll
we
shoot
didn't
himself.
go too hard in,
Yeah.
but we went, all of us must have breathed it a bit, and he went, you're just saying that because you can see it in me, and then he
Yeah.
gets upset.
I
and
got
shoots
both options. So the first time, because I went back and did it again, because
You don't want Brad to
this
know.
is like, this is
Well,
like
all
the
of
scene,
them.
one of the scenes that I think affects a lot of the deaths, because this bit's quite near the end.
Yeah, super near the end.
So you get like, I had the blonde girl
Julia.
and someone else, Brad probably, in
Francis
that
man.
scene.
Yeah, that's what we had.
And then, so Julia first of all got shot in the head
Oh.
because I made bad choices.
Oh, did you pick up the rebreather earlier?
I think so, but then we didn't take it with us later. I think
Because they make a comment about how it could slow you down.
yeah, and then
think
they
it's to
stumbled
deter you.
about a bit and didn't have it. So she got killed there, but then we did it again and made without the rebreather, but made choices to make him shoot himself in the head.
That feels
I
like
got really I felt like betrayed by that scene. 'Cause
Yeah.
It felt like so.
it's abrupt. And
Yeah, very
you don't
abrupt
feel like
and-
you've made it. It doesn't feel like he's given you any sort of good choices to make. That's why I wondered if he always died in that, because there's no like nice. You don't look at it and go, "This is clear."
A rational.
Yeah,
That's
there's no
why I'm
rational
curious
way
about
or-
the trophy. If there's a trophy that says "You calm down, Junior,"
I
and
th-
I'm
I-
curious to know
point.
if it's that exact bit, because you don't ever see him other than that, do you?
I feel
Well,
like that scene might be actually be quite a lot more complicated, and nuanced, and varied than we appreciate.
Should we maybe go through how you killed people?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Because-
it's just going to be me. So
No, but I mean,
We only lost
we're
Brad.
talking a lot about decisions,
yeah,
but clearly you know some big decisions because you killed
Yeah.
quite a few of them.
right. Conrad shot in the head
on the small
on
boat.
the small boat.
Smallest of the small boats.
Yeah. Then it was, I think,
Fliss, right?
Fliss.
Oh no!
Killed by Brad with the wrench. Okay, and he's like, I've got the wrench, and you're like,
So you can't see what he sees then.
Because when I'm playing as Fliss, all I
no,
can
it's
see.
just those two. He's just swinging the wrench.
Yeah.
At.
I was
And you
Fliss,
were dodging.
and I was dodging Brad.
And I was Brad, and I was swinging.
Yeah,
because
but don't get
you
a
saw
choice.
monsters, you didn't see Fliss.
No, I
whereas
didn't
I was
see
like,
any
why are
Fliss.
you swinging the
I
wrench,
was
dude?
Fliss and I just saw Brad. But earlier you cannot pick up the wrench as Brad, so I was curious as to what happens if
you don't have the wrench.
Yeah.
So that's like a big scene. Anyway, she
She
dead.
gets bonked.
She
Yeah.
did.
Who else got left to die?
Got Julia, Alex, and Brad.
So
left.
Julia shot in the head by the man with the gun.
Yeah.
Because we made bad decisions. And then Brad survived. Alex makes his way down into one of the cargo holds, one of the big ones, and has a confrontation with the guy with one eye
Yeah.
and his massive hammer. It's like quite a big fight scene that happens in there. It's quite long. Lots of QuickTime events. He's escaping. Brad comes down into the control room and is like, yeah, run. And they're like, yeah, now. And he runs along and pulls the door handle and the door starts to shut. And then you get another set of QuickTime events, which if you get wrong, he slips up and him and the guy with one eye end up rolling halfway between the door, and then the door just like falls
Squishes
down,
them.
crushes both of them in half. And Brad's like, oh, that's sad. And then he walks out onto the ship and he's like, just
sails
on his
away.
own, gets in the little boat
Yeah,
and goes
cheers
away.
up a bit.
But that's
They never seem cut up about any of the deaths.
no.
Like, if I was Alex and my brother had just died, like right at the end, he's a bit like, yeah, I'm just gonna get on the helicopter now. That's
And
it.
I guess then the final bit that's been different for all of us is what happens after that. So during the Man of Medan boat bit, you can use the radio to call in rescue.
Yeah.
I guess there's a way of you not doing that, and then the helicopters don't turn up.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was
But we all did that.
decision
like-
that came up on the
Yeah.
little
So what,
wheels.
what, you reckon just starve to death on them?
Well, no, you could get away, but then you wouldn't get that scene
Yeah.
where the helicopters turn up, or you wouldn't end up in prison like
Yeah.
we're about to get
Is there a way of maybe like not getting the distributor cap and also not doing the radio?
Yeah, there must be because
Then you can't
because you
get
know when you go to that decision, all those little compasses,
Yeah.
you can look at them. One of them was pointedly, you successfully called the helicopter,
Yeah.
and obviously you have the choice between I think getting quite upset or being
You can
abrupt.
tell them the
It was like
coordinates.
help, or we're at these coordinates.
Yeah.
And I guess if you don't go, we're at these coordinates,
Then you lose that
they're like,
opportunity.
you're emotional, I can't stand you, and then you never. But yeah, because we all needed that to happen, because when you're Alex, you go to get the cap, and there's a QuickTime event involving rats, and we all missed it, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, from JJ.
our thing got crushed, which is. I feel like we got the most unsatisfying ending
Yeah.
because
They never explain why they end up in jail either. Like,
yeah, you know it's a good ending when you're like, is it end? Oh, it's over. Because they were just all on the top of the boat going, we're gonna die out here, and then a helicopter comes down. They come out with guns, so I thought maybe I've got the ending where they just all get shot.
There
Yeah.
is that
I would
weird
have rather
moment.
had that than this weird, like, oh, they all just get on this random plane and then they end up in prison for no explanation.
Yeah, so the game ends. There's the credit scene, and in my one, the what's his name? The curator is like, well done, you kept everyone alive, bravo, blah, blah, blah. Then there's a cutscene where they're all crying in prison. They're all just behind bars, which was really unsatisfying because we were just celebrating the fact that we're like, we kept everyone alive. Oh, might all...
And they all just say, like,
Yeah.
really random things, like...
That's what, I was saying we played Fliss really nice. At the end, they all have their little piece to camera, don't they? Where they
She's
say,
a right bitch.
yeah, she was like,
Yeah.
they're just stupid American idiots. They don't know what they're doing. I was like, you made out with one of them. What?
I do wonder though if those are those are like boxes you tick as you play. So even
But we just played her nice the whole time. We like made sure she was.
We
even
got
when
exactly
people were
the
back to my
same as
idiots.
well, and I was
Yeah.
like, we played quite a mix.
but it might be
Fliss.
that they're just stupid American kids or whatever. It might be the result of one conversation at the beginning, and whatever you do afterwards, that's still tick that box. So she says it anyway.
What happens to Brad when it goes off in the boat then?
He just sails off on the boat.
And that's it. No
Does he not do a
prison.
piece to camera?
No.
He doesn't do one.
No.
So that's them
I
getting
think if you
interrogated.
get-
He just
you
goes
get-
back to his actual life and just continues
If
it.
you escape on the boat, which happened in both instances when I got 4 of them to survive and then 1 of them to survive,
Wait, who died in the second go? You got all 4?
Oh, I only went back as far as the Man of Medan, so
Conrad
Conrad's
was
still
already
dead.
dead.
Oh,
It's
by
too far
Conrad.
to go back to do that bit again.
Yeah.
So when they set off on the boat, they have a little chat, being like, "Oh, that was a bit freaky, wasn't it?" And then one of them is like, "Oh, I wonder if Conrad made it," because they don't actually see him get shot. And then you get like it pans across, and there's just like a crow pecking at an eye, and you're like,
Oh,
"What's
that's
that?" It pans
Conrad's
out
eye.
some more, and it's just like half his face has been eaten off. He's just in the middle of the ocean.
Sean Ashmore's eye.
Yeah.
My post-credit scene was the military guys land on the boat in a helicopter, and then they're like, "Oh, we've got an SOS call. There's no one here. It's a bit weird." Which is actually the original Man of Medan legend. Is like they sent out an SOS call, and then they got there, and there was like a ghost ship. So you're like, "Oh, okay, that's
kind of
reminiscent
cool.
of what it is." But then they're going in the ship. They find the room with like the 4 military coffins in it,
yeah.
and they're like, "What's going on in here?" And then
they get trapped on the ship.
well, as they're leaving, the Asian pirate guy isn't dead, and he's like stumbling around holding his chest, but he's also got the giant hammer of the man with one eye, and he finds the 2 military guys and smashes their heads in,
Oh!
and then it cuts to black.
So that's a bad ending in its own way, because you
like,
then just
Is
brought
there
them
a
to
good
their
ending?
deaths.
Maybe not.
I mean, the kids escaped, but the boat's still
Scrooge.
Yeah.
The only thing that puts me off playing it again is like how clunky the movement can be. It's just like when you're sort of walking down these corridors, and obviously they want to fix the camera, so
Oh, you mean you come around a corner and the camera's changed,
yeah,
and you're
like
walking
what-
backwards?
I don't know how I'm meant to be moving, and like I know it's to like build tension because there's going to be something that you can see from a certain camera angle. But sometimes I'm just like, I just want to walk down a corridor rather than like having to sort of wiggle my way around, and it drives me insane.
Well, there's our massively spoiler-filled chat for Man of Medan. Let us know if you managed to get them all to survive, how the people in your game died. I'm sure the comments will be full of, "Oh my god, I can't believe you chose that option instead of something else."
And they'll all be directed at you.
Yeah, well, because I killed them all.
Cross-reference it all and work out exactly what all the options are.
Yeah, someone make some
the
kind of
timeline
spreadsheet.
coming on, yeah.
Or some kind of chart. That would be great. But in the meantime, thanks for listening, and keep it on GamesRadar for more of these chats soon.
Bye!